Hey everyone, this is Alex with another rapid-fire review, this time for The Medium, Bloober's newest psychological horror game developed for Xbox Series X and PC. Now, if you haven't played this game yet and plan to, rest assured that I'm going to keep this review completely spoiler-free, so you've got nothing to worry about. The Medium was a game that for the last year I've been incredibly excited to play. The second we saw the first trailer, it made it on all of our lists for most anticipated games for 2020. Those first clips they released just oozed atmosphere and had a style that resonated with me.
I can lift them.
So let's talk about that style. This time we're going to start with the sound and visual design of the game. The voice acting for this game is nothing short of stellar. Kelly Burke, Troy Baker, and the rest of the cast do an amazing job bringing these characters to life. And there's no shortage of it.
So many dolls to play with. Such pretty things to wear. Lillian, Francis.
Memories, events, cutscenes, notes, discoveries, thoughts, grumblings, reflections, ponderings, and musings are all voiced. It was a bit much in certain situations having the main character voice absolutely everything. It felt out of balance a bit, but not so much that I would think of deducting any points for it. The environmental noises are just as good. The floorboards creak, the leaves crunch under your feet, and the wind howls at night. They certainly get top marks for sound design here.
There you go.
Visually, the two distinct worlds we get are captivating. The real world is dilapidated, dark, and crumbling. The spirit world glows orange and has huge segments blown away or destroyed, and it's filled with distorted bones or odd representations of what's in the real world. It reminded me of Constantine or the Silent Hill movies. There are some pretty amazing locations you end up wandering throughout the game. Bloober certainly knows how to impress with the settings. I did, however, want to see a bit more from them graphically, since this wasn't going to be released on older consoles due to its hardware limitations. It's a good-looking game, but I was hoping to be wowed. Instead, the system resources are all spent on the rendering of the split-screen worlds, both sides being rendered independently, rather than make either of those worlds especially good-looking. Again, without spoiling too much, the story is the strength of this game. The world is filled with items, notes, and memories, and all manners of storytelling devices to show you what's going on. Fortunately, most of the story is revealed to you in the show and not tell style, which I appreciated.
Yes. It's only a matter of time.
Even the objects here had auras. When I touched them, I could sense their stories. Words, images, feelings left behind.
The story is dark, and I don't mean from a lack of light sources. I mean, it's already about, a medium interacting with spirits, dead people with traumas and issues that need resolving. But it also touches on some themes that are darker than that. We spend a good bit of time exploring those themes, too. It's not a joyful thing to watch, and I didn't want to sit through a lot of it. And some of these segments felt excruciatingly long for no reason. After meandering for a bit, the story wraps up nicely enough, actually, which can be hard to do for a horror game. The gameplay for the Medium is where it seriously falters. I'm willing to forgive them for the awkward fixed camera angles that makes discovery and movement a bit of a chore.
Trying to do this Resident Evil thing with these dynamic camera angles that are fixed, but
Bad camera angles.
give a little bit of context.
I may even forgive puzzles that are so simple they served almost no point other than to pad time, but I will not forgive them for creating a world that looks and sounds like it does, which is no easy feat, mind you. It's absolutely packed to the brim with atmosphere, but it is completely devoid of tension. Tension is vital for horror games. You want the audience to be afraid, uneasy, Put them on the edge of their seats so when they escape the stressful situation, there's that feeling of relief. There was none of that here. There is no relief because there is no fear. There's nothing but the subject's story matter that will make you uneasy in this game. Early in the game, you're introduced to the plot monster, who is slow, and apparently has vision and hearing problems. It's kind of a joke. The encounters you do get with the monster are few and far between. You're meant to sneak from cover to cover, perhaps even hold your breath if it's close so it doesn't hear you. But in actuality, there is no danger to our character with how poorly it moves in predictable circles and can't seem to detect you no matter what you're doing. Even if it does detect you, you're faster than the monster. On top of that, there's the spirit juice, which you almost always have. And if you don't, it's everywhere. And if you get caught, simply squirting him in the face with it makes him go away and resets him to the start of the gauntlet. But it leaves you in the middle or the end of the gauntlet, which again trivializes the entire encounter. The only time you'll really be caught is during the few scripted chase sequences, which in theory should provide some tension. But the problem here is you'll only be caught because the fixed camera angle and the changes in perspectives make running away from the monster a chore, rather than something to be afraid of. The only other danger in the game are environmental tentacles that will slowly wind up and lash out at you, one time before dying. Hitting them or simply holding the shield button automatically kills them. You would have to be sleeping here to be in any danger. Ultimately, this game was pretty disappointing. It's absolutely maddening that they did almost everything right. They delivered on the promised atmosphere and provided a good enough story to go with it, which is rare. But when it came to making you feel like you were in danger or stressed, they just sort of forgot. I stopped fearing for my character very early on. The monster says some pretty frightening and unsettling things throughout the game, too. But if you're not afraid of the monster, and you really shouldn't be, the menacing, deep, growling voice telling you it wants to wear your skin switches from scary monster to cookie monster pretty quick.
Where would you be? What would you be?
C is for cookie, that's good enough for me. C is for cookie.
For us to eat.
Nom, nom, oh, nom.
I was simply annoyed he was around because I wanted to go through the story rather than play that part of the game. So this is really just a slightly interactive story game rather than a horror game. You'll have the exact same experience watching this game in its entirety in a YouTube cutscene compilation as you will playing it. And that's a damn shame. I'm going to give the medium a painfully average 5 out of 10. For a video game, it does the video part right. They just haven't quite figured out how to do the game part.
God. This is it. The place from my dream.
So did you play the medium? Were you as disappointed as we were? Let us know in the comments. Thanks for watching this rapid fire review. We shall see you next time on the next Angry Joe Show.